to another video, and in today's video we have our NXT Deadline 2023 reactions and results video. Overall, how'd you think of the show?
Yeah, I think it was just good altogether. I think every match on it was solid. There was no duds on it really. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll get into it more obviously as we speak into each match individually. But overall, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and we're going to start off with the pre-show match, which was Axiom versus Nathan Frazier. And this match I really enjoyed watching. This was really fast-paced, really fun. Both men showed their athletic abilities, especially how fast Nathan Frazier is, and how agile, I guess the right word would be, for him and Axiom, obviously. And I have this kind of made me a believer in Nathan Frazier for whenever he is called up or is moved to the main roster. He has a right place for him. He seems like a guy that could easily be a world champion, I feel like, later down the line. But yeah, I really enjoyed this match.
Yeah, it was really good. Axiom, like I said in our predictions, I've kind of heard the name before, so I predicted him. Didn't really hear too much about Nathan Frazier. But they both impressed me tonight, so yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah, we didn't get a Nathan Frazier heel turn, which I think some people expected because this was like two friends, and it always makes sense when two friends do against each other, one usually turns, but Axiom gets the win, and yeah, we go on to the next match, which was Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio for the North American Champion, and Dragon Lee picks up the win and is the new North American Champion. I don't know, obviously, the direction they're going to be going, if they're going to use it as that third mid-card title for SmackDown now, where he kind of moves between Raw or SmackDown and NXT. But yeah, this match was pretty solid. Few moments, there was like a bit of like a lull period where it just wasn't much going on, kind of just holds and, you know, just a few strikes here and there, but still a pretty solid match in my opinion.
Yeah, this was the weakest match of the night in my opinion. And for this to be the weakest night of the night is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because this wasn't bad at all. So for this to be your weakest one, that says a lot about the show. But yeah, surprising win for Dragon Lee. Didn't expect that. This could be the start of like a eventual breakdown of Judgment Day because they don't hold all the gold no more. So potentially something starts happening maybe. But yeah.
Yeah, because now that obviously you still have Rhea, who probably is going to be holding her belt the longest out of the group. Obviously, you have Judgment Day, who have the tag titles, and I feel like that can be lost at any minute now, because with them, it's really, there's no knowledge of what's going to happen next for them, you know, so it's kind of when the formation starts. But yeah, very good match. But next up, we have the women's Iron Survivor match, where I predicted correctly, and Blair Davenport gets the win here. Really enjoyed this match. Really fun. I really like the last 6 minutes of the match where it starts off with Tiffany and Fallon Henley in like the box, and then Tiffany pushes over Fallon into the table. Then she gets up, does a swanton bomb onto Metaphor and a few of the other competitors, and then yeah,
they eliminate Lash Legend in the last 2 minutes or so, and then she was in the penalty until the last 30 seconds, or no less than that. It was like 15 yeah. And then she gets out. Blair Davenport gets out of the ring and runs because she has the lead by 1, and if she pins her, then she would tie it. Curious what would happen. I'm not really sure.
Like a sudden death between them two, maybe. We haven't obviously.
That'd have been cool to see.
Yeah, it'd be. I think that's something that we'll definitely see if they do continue to do this yearly.
Yeah, and this was my first one watching because I don't really watch NXT like that. So as a first time watching this, and I haven't even watched the first one yet, this definitely makes me want to go watch the first one. And I probably will go do that soon. Yeah,
and another thing as well is pretty much everybody looked fairly good in this match. They gave everybody a good showing. Kalani didn't have any pins, however, in ring-wise she did look good. She just hit a lot of big moves and seemed like it was going in her favor, but she just couldn't take the advantage of, said things. But Lash Legend also looked really strong. She quite literally looked really strong. She felt like the powerhouse of this match, and she played that role very well.
They had a cool part where I forget exactly who it was, but someone was on her back. She had the other person in her hands, and she was kind of like ringing them on the ropes. That was a pretty little funny spot. I've never seen that done before. So yeah, it's always good to see an original spot like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's been done before, I've never seen it, but new to me.
Next up, though, we had Carmelo Hayes defeat Lexis King, and which was an okay match. It wasn't nothing, I think, to go back and look at, but just a solid match. Lexis King's debut on PLEs, so yeah, just solid.
Yeah. And then obviously at the end of the match, he kind of reveals that it wasn't him that attacked Trick. And he says thanks for, getting him on the PLE, laughs at him or whatever. Trick goes to go back to the ring, but then changes his mind and goes to the backstage area. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. The match was really good. But there was, I don't know, I guess the ending kind of threw it off a little bit because you kind of expected that to be the end of that. But now it's not. You know that there's going to be like a whole other storyline of who was it. Maybe it was Carmelo, you know?
Yeah, they teased at the end of the night, and we'll get to that later on. But yeah, this was a solid match. And it was kind of funny almost when Lexis King does say, yeah, I wasn't the one who attacked them. Thanks for giving me PLE time, which is kind of like, yeah, no, I'm not the best right now, but yeah, you'll be on the pay-per-view. I appreciate it, man. But that was kind of funny. But after that, we had the men's Iron Survivor match, which was my match of the night. I really enjoyed this one. Just, in my opinion, everybody felt equal in this match, and the story in the end, which leads to Trick winning this match, I really enjoyed, where he was the third person in the match and didn't have any pins going to the last few minutes, and then he managed to get 4 in the last few minutes and managed to win this match. Again, similar to the women's one, everybody had a good showing in this match. Josh Briggs, who I was a little skeptical on and a little bit hesitant about how he would perform this match, did his thing, did a few good spots. He did a nice backflip with Dijak at one point. That was pretty cool. Tyler Bate looked amazing. Braun Breaker came out just fiery as hell and just took out everybody with a spear. One of the best spears in WWE, if not all of wrestling right now. So, yeah, really enjoyed this match.
Yeah, everyone looked strong. I believe everyone got a pin in this match. The only kind of, I guess, boring part was the first few minutes when it was just Dijak and Josh Briggs, but even that wasn't too bad. No. But Braun Breaker came in, kind of destroyed everyone with spears, got a few pins, eliminated everyone, and it was just him and Trick in the ring. And they started going back and forth. That was one of the big moments there. And yeah, a really good match. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they also announced after this match that each winner of the Iron Survivor will be having their number one contender match on New Year's Evil, the first NXT show of the new year. So you'll have Trick Williams and the winner of the main event tonight, and then you have Blair Davenport taking on Lyra Valkyria. But next up, I don't remember where it was. Oh yeah, it was at this point, because after Blair Davenport wins, she kind of talks and she kind of calls out Lyra and kind of says, "Hey, I'm gonna take you out and I'm gonna win the new title." And then Lyra comes out. She kind of talks for a second, or just kind of gloats with the belt. And then Cora Jade finally makes her big return, which was a very cool moment for her, I'm sure. Especially with CM Punk also on the night. We didn't talk about that, but he had a little segment with Shawn Michaels at the start of the show. I'm interested to see what she wants to do. Obviously, it seems like she's going to be in the world title picture, or NXT women's title picture. So, interested to see where that goes now that you have 3 real competitors, or champion and 2 competitors for the belt. And next up, we have Roxanne Perez taking on Kiana James in a steel cage match, where Kiana James gets the win here. This is a pretty solid match. The main talking point is obviously towards the end, where Izzy Dame comes out and she helps Kiana James win this match. I guess she's going to be like a protege type of role. I don't really see them as a tag team, considering there's not really a women's tag team division on NXT right now, at least from my knowledge of NXT right now. But yeah, this was still a solid match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was definitely a really good match. I don't know exactly what I was expecting, but I did expect a little bit more. But overall, it was still really good. They had the big spot on top of the cage, obviously. And they did basically everything that they should do, but I don't know. I was just expecting a little bit more. I just don't know what it was. Maybe I'm just being too picky.
Yeah. Not too much out for me. Pretty solid match. Then we move on to the main event, which was Ilya Dragunov taking on Baron Corbin for the NXT champion, where Ilya Dragunov retains the NXT champion. This was very solid. I enjoyed this. It was what it was. Ilya just played his usual, like, insane, always on attack mode, going for the kills at times, and Baron Corbin did his thing. Surprisingly, he played really well in this match, just did what he had to do.
Yeah, both of them, you could tell by the end of the match, they were just drained and they were just done after that. Like, that was all their effort left in the ring for sure. But yeah, Baron Corbin definitely put up a big fight. The commentary did a good job of kind of convincing you that he kind of had a chance of winning, even though I feel like most people kind of knew that Ilyas was just going to win anyway. But they did a pretty good job of kind of, giving you like maybe he will win, but he didn't. And yeah, it was just a really good match. Not my match of the night, but I could see the argument for it to be match of the night.
Yeah, and then after the match, Ilya's kind of holding the belt up, celebrating a little bit. Trick Williams comes out, and he's kind of saying, hey, I'm the #1 contender, I'm going to take your belt. And then as the show goes off the air, Carmelo Hayes slowly walks behind him, kind of, I don't know really where to say it. It just looks obviously sketchy because they're two friends, and also everything going on right now between them two. It's kind of, you don't know what could happen next, and, just interested to see where that goes. Obviously, it seems like that's going to be what's going to happen next. I think if Trick Williams does win the NXT champion, which I think it's a good shot he does. However, if he does, I do think that's going to be the feud of Ilya versus Trick versus Carmelo. That just seems right, But yeah, I enjoyed this.
Yeah, overall, really good pay-per-view. Like I said, every match was solid. Worst match probably being the Dom vs. Dragon Lee, but even that wasn't bad at all. My match of the night would probably be the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. I really enjoyed that one. I wasn't familiar with a few of them, so it was good to kind of see what they could do in a match like that, and they all impressed me. But yeah, really good pay-per-view. What do you think, though?
Yeah, like I said, really enjoyed it. Like you said, every match delivered what it needed to do. There was no like you said, no bad matches. Everything was a mediocre match at the worst, which is not bad. I think we use the word mediocre in a bad way at times. When having a mediocre match isn't bad, you shouldn't always. It's probably almost worse at times to have every single match be the best match, because at times you're gonna get you're gonna be drained towards like the main event, and once you have times to breathe and go to the next match. But yeah, really good night. My favorite match, Men's Iron Survivor. Like I said, the story for Trick being down and having to get 4 pins to win the match, and he actually ends up doing it. Yeah, really cool. But yeah, that is the last WWE pay-per-view or PLE of the year. We have World's End at the end of the month, and yeah, that will conclude basically all your pay-per-views of the year for wrestling. So overall, I guess just a quick last thing is just on the year for WWE. What do you think of their PLEs this year overall?
Yeah, well, if y'all want to see a full list, we have a tier list. If y'all want to go back to one of our previous videos, we have a tier list of all the pay-per-views. But to give an overall thought about it, I think overall it was one of the best years, I think, in recent memory at least. Better than last year, and last year was better than the year before that. So, I mean, wrestling looks like it's still growing everywhere, not just WWE. So that's always exciting to see, new faces and crowds, and see stadiums filling up like how AEW did in the UK. WWE's probably going to do the same thing this year, but WrestleMania is going to be the same thing, and AEW will probably do it again. This time with Will Ospreay headlining potentially. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. We'll catch you guys in the next video.